Hi, welcome everybody to this Dropcast special episode with a very special man who is a big Star Wars fan, as you can see by his hat. Matt Ferguson, how are you, man?
I'm all right. How are you?
Can't complain. Busy, but aren't we all? Um, you put out this one poster thingy that everybody's raving about, and I invited you to talk about it here. But yeah, let's talk about this one here. We have Return of the Jedi. The 40th anniversary is up,
Yep.
and yeah, this is a very cool poster. As is Empire Strikes Back. This one is in the living room, so I cannot show it behind me. But yeah, this is the great poster. This is a very nice follow up to Empire Strikes Back. What changed from the last approach? Anything? Did you do the same thing? The same magic?
It was basically just to do a companion piece, but I think even since just a few years ago, I've developed a little bit of processes, and so I've managed to really up the detail and just I thought a lot more about the poster.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna pull up the sketches here, because we start with that here. It's called Jedi Sketch 1. That's how you named it, and there is I don't know. You can explain it better maybe.
So I thought because so well on Empire Strikes Back, I watched the movie and did thumbnails while I was watching the movie. I thought I'd do the same with this one, even though I kind of knew what to go in, and I just thought it would be a nice thing to do. Because initially I thought I was going to do Luke at the funeral pyre, at the end with Darth Vader and the flames, and then I sort of thought to myself, well, that's kind of like the end of the movie. And even though everybody's seen the movie, not everybody has actually seen the movie. And I thought I need to sort of approach it as if it was a movie poster that came out in 1983.
Yeah, all the cards are still on the table.
They wouldn't spoil the end of the movie, would they? They wouldn't put Darth Vader burning on there. So that sort of watching the movie, that kind of thought, okay, well. And then Darth Vader is very much even more to the forefront, along with Luke in this movie for me. So that was the focus, was it's Luke Skywalker is the main focus. And then you've got Vader, who's obviously a very important presence in his life, because it turns out he's his dad. And then the Emperor Palpatine. And I sort of came up with that. I didn't do Palpatine on it until I did the actual poster. So my original idea was just Luke and Vader. And then as I worked the actual poster on computer, I thought, I'd put in
good old Papa Palpatine.
Yeah, wrinkly binkley. But the thing is it was just interesting to do those sketches for me, because I initially wanted to do a different composition. I wanted to do something more right justified, a little bit sort of similar to the original Jung A New Hope poster. Because then my thought was to do the same for A New Hope and have that left justified, and then make it sort of like a trilogy with Empire in the middle. But the process is you do the thing, and then you think, actually, I need to just do what's right for this one poster, for this one movie, and not worry about linking it in and making a triptych or anything like that, because it just needs to be. And you can tell stylistically it's a similar poster, I guess, to the Empire, but to have its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the triptych you've done. That was, as I cannot say it enough, it's my first actual poster that I bought. So really happy that you got me into this. And the original one sheet turned out really well. I mean, I love the crazy details in terms of the flora and fauna, and the colors pop so well. How is this going to be? Because there's going to be a bottleneck release. They have teased it, so I guess we can talk about it. And
May the 4th. It's going to be timed sale from May the 4th. So.
Perfect. And this how is this going to be? This is going to be screen printed? I take it, yeah.
Yeah. It is going to be screen printed.
How are they going to translate it? It looks like very hard to get it done.
It is very hard. It's going to be quite a lot of colours. But really, if you look at it, the colours it's quite outside of the red and the green,
Yeah.
it is quite monotone really, because I wanted that contrast. So the thing with the screen print that we can do over like a litho and stuff is like we're going to use neon ink for Luke's lightsaber, so that'll be really vibrant and green
Mm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, very complicated to do as a screen print, because it wasn't set up to be a screen print.
Yeah.
So that's actually in process. We're still sorting out separations and
Is
printers and all that stuff.
How was it for Empire Strikes Back? Was it the same process there, or I can't remember?
Yeah, that was done after the fact as well, screen printing. But that one was a bit easier because it was much more one color tone, really, because it was the Empire. So it was just like, whereas this, I wanted more of the warm colors in and stuff. So it kind of changed.
Okay.
A little bit.
And Will, because you have created also the UK quad, which has the Ewok village and everything in there. Is that basically? Did you do that first and then condense it, or was?
Yeah. So basically, I had a little extra layer in the file that was the size of the one sheet, and then I just extended it out massive, and just did extra because I thought, well, if I do the quad, then I can just use that information. And then also they were talking about using it for banners, which they have done and stuff.
Yes.
So it made sense to do extra art. And then I got to do the trees and the Ewok village and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it was all one massive file, absolutely ridiculous. It basically has burnt my computer.
How big was it?
To cinders, nearly 30 gigabytes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely pays off. If you look at the details, I just pulled up Papa Palpatine here, sitting there on his throne. And did you like? I don't know if you've seen the thumbnail, because on the last episode with James, because we always put like our heads on the thumbnail, and I put my head on Papa Palpatine and put James's head on Luke, and it turned out really great. It was a really fun little thumbnail. But yeah, this one looks great. Is the red gonna be neon as well ish? Like the part like that is reflecting basically.
That is funny. Yeah, it'll be really extra vibrant red. Because if you do litho printing or normal CMYK printing, you don't have red, obviously. You'd have to add that as an extra color into the print, and it doesn't do green. But with screen printing, you just get that automatically.
How is it with the details on all the little pieces within the poster? I mean, I know Lucasfilm and Disney and all that, and especially the fans are very particular about the details of the spaceships and the suit. Which kind of suit? How was that for you? How many how many circles did you go through?
Well, I kind of knew going in that it needed to be obviously really accurate, so I kind of did a real deep dive, found a bunch of reference material from like ILM and stuff of like the chicken walkers or the ATSTs, because they're asymmetrical. Nothing in Star Wars is like perfect, so it's kind of like got to make sure you get it right. And then like Luke has the lapel thing, for example, and I sort of found some costume reference and stuff to get that pretty much right. I mean, you can take a bit of liberty as well. I mean, if you look at the old posters from back in the day, the old painter posters, they just were like close enough. It looks like it. It's like the Death Star on the original Star Wars poster. It's like not the Death Star. It's round. It's good enough. So yeah, but yeah, no, like now it's very particular. So yeah, lots of looking at the movie as well, obviously, to get reference for trees and Ewok village and stuff.
Is everything in the poster that you wanted in the poster, or is there something you wish you could have done but you had to go a different direction or something like that?
No, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep it simple. Like there was talk at one point about us putting in more characters, so like making it more like a traditional movie poster. So it would have had Leia and Han and Lando and Mon Mothma and this and that. And I was like, we can do that, and I can make it really good. But I wanted to keep it like simple and in line with what we did on Empire, which was obviously even more reductive than this one. And they just went, yeah, because it's different to what's come before then. So yeah, they just were like, yeah, do what you want.
Perfect. That's good to hear. And you did again the Japanese version for it.
Yes.
And compared to the one sheet, it's going to be the same situation again. There will be probably one sheets because there are some out in the world. I'm just going to show the one on El Capitan that you provided here. These are digital versions, though, yeah?
Yeah, I did actually get some of the printed one sheets today.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, the massive 27 by 40 double-sided ones. So, yeah, I might end up doing some sort of giveaways, a demo or something. But the poster from Bottleneck's going to be 24 by 36 and more in line with collectible stuff. And
exactly,
the same as the Empire, no credits or anything, so it'll be in line with Empire.
Perfect, yeah. And the Japanese version, this is the same way. That's why I just popped it up, because you have given me only the one sheet version. So on the Japanese, you can see people right now that there is no title treatment, as is the Empire printed poster version of that. And there's also a variant again, same style. The black and white.
Yeah, I've not shown that yet, so that'll be black and white.
That's
apart from a little bit of red and then the green of the lightsaber.
Exactly, and the Japanese version will be probably just the title. There's going to be in red as well, then, right?
The Japanese title is white, I think, not red.
But is it on the variant? That's what I was wondering.
It's white on both.
Okay.
And then it's got red underneath, so it's got the big Star Wars, which is that Star Wars, and then the red writing is actually
Makes
Return
sense.
of the Jedi.
Makes sense.
Interestingly, we hired a translator to make sure that we got the Japanese type right on this one, because there is a full one with all the credits and everything. And he was like, that it's on all the old posters, it's Revenge of the Jedi. So in Japanese, it was written Revenge of the Jedi. So it's actually slightly different to write Return, obviously. So we actually changed it because I had it wrong, because I can't read Japanese.
Yeah.
So on the original Japanese Star Wars posters, it usually says Revenge.
Interesting, yeah. And but so now you got the new revised titles, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's accurate to the title of the actual movie.
Yeah. And you've I think you and Bottleneck, you teased some more images, or like were these test prints, or are they already?
There was a test print done, just to figure out separations and stuff. But then I think we're still doing separations, and we're still trying to find a printer at this point.
Yeah,
so it's a massive job. So it's just, and screen printing is quite tricky at the moment to get people. So
okay. But but this turned out as a very great poster and a very great release. I mean, it will probably have the same success as Empire Strikes Back has. And last question would be only, when are we getting New Hope?
2027.
Okay, for the next
anniversary. For the 50th, yeah.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to do for it, though. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to do for it.
Is it going to be the sandy look?
Yeah. So it'll be sandy, but I'm thinking currently, because I've done a small thing on each one. So on Empire, it was Luke fighting Darth Vader. Yeah, I remembered his name. And then it's Emperor Palpatine on thingy. And then I thought it might be nice to do Princess Leia. So I might do Princess Leia giving the plans to R2-D2.
That makes sense.
As the small bit. And then Luke, sunset, but bigger. And Darth Vader, I'm going to push way back, small, maybe not even part of that poster. Because then the trilogy, my thinking, I mean, it might not happen. When I do it in practice, this might not happen. But my thinking is it'd be like a ramping up of Darth Vader as the three posters go along.
Okay.
Because in the first movie, he's only got like 4 lines. He's hardly in it. And then he's like the heavy, isn't he? He's not really even the main baddie. It's Peter Cushing. So it'll be like him ramping up, be the main character.
That sounds good. That sounds like a good idea. So I'd rather have obviously the poster sooner than later. But we're looking all forward to that. And thank you so much, Matt, for stopping by and talking about this very great poster. And people, please go to Over the Bottleneck. There will be for the regular versions, the Japanese and the regular English version in color. These will be timed releases then, according to the Empire Strikes Back version. And then the black and whites will be the variants.
Correct.
All right. So be there soon, people. It's not far away. Mark it in your calendars.
May the 4th.
May the 4th, exactly. And I guess that's a good way to say goodbye to the people out there. May the 4th be with you, everybody. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome, everybody. We're back. And as you can see, this is not Matt Ferguson. This is Mr. Jack Gregory. And he has also some very, very special Star Wars pieces we're going to talk about now. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm great. Happy to be here. Happy to connect with you finally. And I look forward to our discussion on Star Wars.
Me too, my friend. It's been, I mean, we've been writing for quite some time, and finally we got to it. And I'm very happy about the pieces that have been coming out. And I mean, first of all, we are gonna talk about this oldie here, Star Wars: A New Hope. And my first question would be, how did it all start? Like, where did the idea come from? How did you get involved with all that, and so on?
Well, I've always loved this opening sequence to the original Star Wars film. It's one of my favorite scenes in cinema, period, not just related to this particular film series. And I had a job that I used to walk to every morning, and I would kind of daydream scenarios or different posters as I was walking to work. And I always had this vision of doing an illustration capturing that scene, but really augmenting the experience and going over the top a bit. So I always had that idea and kind of kept it in my back pocket for something in the future, hopefully one day. And I had... Oh, go ahead.
It feels like a little bit, since you mentioned the over the top part, it feels like a little like an anime kind of vibe that it has to it, and like gives it this over the top feeling. Yeah.
Yes. So when I had done a project with Bottleneck where I'd done a Dark Knight piece, and when we were discussing future pieces, I came out of the gate and said, I know Star Wars is an IP that gets done quite a bit, but I think I have an idea that's interesting and a little bit different, that it's not going to kind of follow a lot of the design tropes that a lot of Star Wars pieces follow. And so I did a very quick sketch of what I was talking about. And I think the sketch was so loose that...
But it's not the sketch that you sent through, right?
Yes.
That's the sketch?
The sketch that the sketch I shared with you, the kind of pink tone one, is the one that I sent that they signed off on.
Crazy. Yeah. There we go.
And I think, yes. And I think they originally thought I was going to try to illustrate the scene from the corridors in the Death Star when all of our heroes are escaping. And I wrote back and said, "Oh, no. This is the opening of the film. I don't want to show any of the stars. I want to show like just a battle scene, like the war aspect."
It's like Star Wars Clone Wars here.
Yes. So they were like, oh yeah, go ahead and do that then. And I started working on it. And to your point, I thought it'd be really cool to take that scene that we're all familiar with and kind of reinterpret it through the eyes of a Japanese filmmaker, working on an animated series.
Star Wars
in
visions.
The late 80s.
You were ahead.
Yes.
Ahead of its time.
So yeah, it was more of a painterly background and characters that are more cell shaded as opposed to being fully rendered. And when I was finished with the piece, I was satisfied with it. I thought I had met my goals, and we put it out there to the world, and it was really well received, more so than I think me or Bottleneck would have imagined. And to this day, it's certainly the piece that I've been DM'd about the most, asking, are there any more available?
For sure, man. I mean,
unfortunately, I don't. Yeah,
it is such a great piece myself. That's why it was in a running for poster of the year back then when it came out with our show. It came really far, and this is a very great piece, man. So I get it. I get it why people knock on your door.
Yeah, I was so grateful to do it, and it was also a personal bucket list piece to do something official Star Wars related was certainly a goal. So that was
How
great. Happy to do it.
how big of a fan are you?
I was a huge fan of the original trilogy.
Hmm.
Grew up with it. Had the VHS tapes. Used to watch those to death as a child.
Hmm.
And then when I was in high school is when the episode 1 came out, and I was a huge nerd for that.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I saw the film and was like, it's okay. But then I went to college and saw the rest of the prequel trilogy,
Yeah,
and you know, prefer the originals.
I understand. I understand. It's definitely. What about the sequel trilogy?
I liked Force Awakens.
Hmm.
I actually liked the Last Jedi quite a bit because
Hmm.
I thought that opened the doors for new opportunity and new creative directions.
Yeah,
And then I was not a big fan of Rise of Skywalker. I,
understandably so.
yeah, I kind of felt like the point in Last Jedi where Rey and uh, Ben Solo, uh, not his evil name. Uh, the point where they're fighting together, oh, this is great. You know, this is going to be a version of this series we haven't seen before. Like, how are
Yeah,
they going to team up together? And then it kind of just went back to evil and good. And but I still
yeah.
thought like, okay, there's something that can be worked with here. And then I feel like Rise of Skywalker was a bunch of film creators reading all the Twitter threads and going like, okay, we gotta rectify this and fix this, and
Mm,
it
yeah,
felt very
it feels
messy.
off. I have to say, after reading a little bit, like a skim through the Colin Trevorrow script, I like
Hmm.
what they were doing there. Obviously, I don't want to say like how it would have turned out. We don't know, but
Sure.
it had some. I think it was more in tone of The Last Jedi and things like that. So to make more sense and not like right, we got to rectify this.
Yes. I also read that his outline, and I saw some of the storyboard art
Hmm.
and some of the creative directions, and I did like that story a bit more. Um, it is what it is. You know, they made their money. They'll continue making films. People will continue to see them. So I don't think my opinion really matters in the long run.
Indeed, yeah. All our opinion, all of our opinions don't matter. There's
Sure.
only like a handful of people that matter, I guess. But let's see
Yeah.
what they do in the future. Um,
Yeah. I hope they turn out well.
yeah, me too, man. I can't wait for Filoni's film. So let's see what he's gonna do because like I think he is the right one in terms of when it comes to lore and saga and like all that on the universe. I think he is the man to put it all together in a certain way that it's fun. And
Yeah.
so I think it's better than the fan people because I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to like say J.J. Abrams is not a big fan or Ryan Johnson's not a big fan, but I think Dave Filoni is like the nerd fan
Yes.
who knows basically everything. So you don't have like I could imagine that J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson, or whatever whoever had to go to somebody and say, hey, can we do this? But Dave Filoni knows this, you know. So
Yes. A nerd fan that's also a great writer and a great storyteller. So I think he's perfect, and I love everything he's done with the Mandalorian and
yeah, also Clone Wars. I mean, so
yeah.
many great story arcs. So, but yeah, um, was there when you did this? Was there already the idea? Oh, I'm gonna do all the whole original trilogy, or no?
No,
When did this come in play? Yeah.
I did this piece. It sold, and I think a couple weeks later, Bottleneck came back and said, "So I guess we should go with Empire, right?" And logically it makes sense, but I had not really had ideas prepped for this because I'm very much a one and done kind of person when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
creative pieces where
Oh,
I
okay.
I do my thing and then I'm like, okay, that was it, and now I have other projects that I'd like to jump on. So when the idea of Empire was brought up, I was like, well, I guess that makes sense, but I didn't have a vision for it
Mm.
the same way that I had for this piece.
Yeah.
So I, you know, started kind of roughing ideas in my mind, like, well, do I stick with kind of a small hallway theme? And then I was like, well, I guess there's the fort on Hoth where they're making their
Mm.
escape from Darth Vader, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to start adding stars to the piece. Like I didn't want Han and Leia running away. And then there's the corridors in Cloud City. I didn't want to go that route either. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm going to have to go outside then if I want to stick with soldiers and generics that we don't know personally. So this piece here is the first initial sketch, which was just a little bit more top down than what I went with. And ultimately, I decided to stray away from this because I didn't want to draw so many soldiers.
Yeah.
So I cheated the angle down a little bit more for the final.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I mean, looking at the sketches in general, I mean, they're very elaborate. Like I've shown earlier. These are Matt Ferguson's sketches compared to yours. There's a difference. There's a difference. So, how's that? How come you like give so many details already in those first sketches? And they look kind of like almost done. You need to just basically sharpen the edges, kind of.
That helps me save time when I start working on the final, because the sketch that you just showed, Matt's sketch, I do have sketches like that in sketchbooks and stuff like that. But I find with the work that I do, if I don't nail enough details at the very beginning, I'll find myself like illustrating a character or illustrating a layout and doing it like 10 times over, almost like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. So the more detail I can add kind of early on and kind of have that placement set and have my motion set and my character set, and we get the green light, we get the concept approved, then I could just go in and start rendering the characters and figures, and I could just space out and not have to worry about, well, what if I have this guy's arm like this and he's holding his weapon like this? It just kind of makes the process go easier, so I can just, ram through it a little bit quicker.
Is this already in Photoshop, or is it in Procreate or on the iPad or something?
This is in Photoshop. The sketch is in Photoshop, and then the final's in Photoshop as well. And I like to use Photoshop because I use a lot of the levels and add effects and stuff like that I can just kind of drop in. And it just, for me, it's just my process of working, saying it's better or worse than using Procreate, but it's just
I
helps
just
me get through it quicker.
Because I like the artists, like when I see them, like they do a lot of stuff on the iPad now, and like because like since it's like more of a sketchy type, I thought you maybe sketch it on an iPad first and then put it in or whatever.
I'm one of the remaining Wacom guys.
Okay.
Like I still use my my tablet.
Yeah. Oh, did this kind of way? You did not even the what it's called, Cintiq?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
my only reservation, and I've talked with other people that use Cintiqs or draw on iPads. I'm a very heavy-handed drawer. So my fear with like a Cintiq is, I'm going to get to a point where my screen just has a dip in it, because I've even as a child, using graphite pencils, I've always been very heavy-handed. So
okay.
I know a lot of artists who do use a Cintiq, and I always ask, like, how strong are those screens? Do you feel any dip at all easily? So
do they
that's
have
why,
the ice hockey variant?
Yeah. So that's why I still got the old school Wacom tablet.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, this is the sketch, and let's switch over to the final version. This is the rag of the piece, and then there's also the variant with a light of like goldish.
Yeah,
layer.
it's more of a yellowish tint to kind of give an old, worn film look. Like if you're watching a movie from that area, and the film's just worn a little bit and kind of yellowed. And I did the same with the boarding party piece. It had more of a bluish tint, and then the variant was more of a yellowish tint that was printed on foil. And I believe this one's on foil too.
Exactly.
Variant.
And the foil shines through with all the blaster fire and stuff like that, yeah?
Yes.
Or where? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all the really hot whites, like the blaster lasers and the I think maybe some of the explosions or fires in the background.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, this one is it's not going to be the last piece. What do you have in mind for the next one?
Well, we talked about it briefly, and I commented that I saw a lot of people asking or stating like, I can't wait to see Return of the Jedi, which I
Yeah.
jokingly said I think it's the most I've ever seen anyone excited about Return of the Jedi, because I know
Uh-huh.
in the original trilogy, I think people kind of are content with it, but I've never heard anyone like, oh, we need a Return of the Jedi print.
Oh,
Um,
they're lovers. Return of the Jedi lovers. I know a couple that are actually that's their favorite of the three.
oh, okay. I will say, as a child, that's probably the one I watched the most because it
Yeah.
was just on HBO a lot, and then I think
Yeah.
we duped a copy of it on tape, and I watched that
Uh,
one quite a bit. So
is it
you
gonna
know,
be
if
Endor?
we
Is it gonna be Endor and the fight
most
when the against the troopers?
I well when I saw the reactions of people that were really stoked for the possibility of the Jedi, I immediately thought, doing an Endor scene and just having Ewoks going nuts would be really fun.
Yep.
And I started kind of getting excited about the possibilities of how crazy it could go. And in particular, with that battle scene, there is not really the sense of a front line marching towards another front line.
Mm.
It's just chaos. So the concept of like perspective, I don't know if I would go that route with Endor, because it's just speeder bikes and troopers everywhere and rebels over here and Ewoks flying through the trees, and just a really big chaotic mess, but with some control to it.
Yeah, I would love to see the Ewoks, some Ewoks doing some stuff. That will
Yeah,
be very much fun. I mean, and since like in the first piece, it's the stormtroopers in the middle. Now you got the rebels, and then at the last one you got the Ewoks. I think that would be a good mix.
yeah, it would be really fun. And what I kind of like about this style is because it's based on reality, but it's more animated. We don't have to
Mm.
adhere to what's been shown to us as an audience. So, yeah, the Ewoks could be really doing anything. They could be doing backflips and,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
uh, beating people's heads off or beating their helmets off. Or,
Wasn't it in which game was it? Was it Battlefield where they had the Ewok mode and where you had to go as an Ewok berserk and stuff? I think
I,
it was.
I've, with the exception of the game Tetris, I have never been a gamer.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, I think it was in Battlefield in the Star Wars, oh, no, Battlefront, not Battlefield, Star Wars
Okay.
Battlefront, and then they had like this Ewok mode, so where you basically run in like in a in the darkness of Endor's forest, run through, and then somewhere you are like basically I think stormtroopers, and like this Ewok like juggernaut comes and like kills you and stuff. It's like really fun.
I'll have to research that then. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I think that's the mode. Yeah, you should look into that. I think that would make sense for a
Oh,
piece.
for sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, this piece is amazing as well, and yeah, I also can't wait for the final one. If like people would ask for an animated show in your style, would it be something you would do?
Uh, I would happy to be involved. I don't think I would be much help with the animation part.
I
As
mean, the
I
concept. You do the concept.
Sure, I'd be happy to do the concept art. But beyond that, I would hope they would have top animators, because the best I can do is create some gifs in Photoshop as far as animation goes. I don't
But
know. I don't think that would be a very strong show. A show just made of gifs.
yeah. It would be something different. But hey, there's like 5-second movies. Hey, there you go.
That is true. If you want a 5 second, I'll put it out there to the world. If you want a 5 second Star Wars series, I'll I'll jump on that.
All right, people, you heard here first. We're gonna make Jack do that because I want to see it now. And
Okay.
yeah, but don't put Star Wars on it because you know how Disney is.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was putting it out there to the stratosphere that if someone Disney heard this, but
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
could
okay, okay.
I could do also a generic, Star Battles or something like that, with Duke Moonwalker.
Duke Moonwalker. Yeah, I would love like a Groundwalker.
There we go, Duke Groundwalker.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. We have that right there, and it's not copyright infringement.
There we go. I think we're safe now. Yeah, we can just totally
Exactly.
do it now.
Perfect, my friend. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say about this piece before we end this little special episode here?
I was grateful to do it. Always grateful for the opportunity, and grateful that people liked it and it was well received. And I appreciate everyone, the nice comments that came my way. It really meant a lot, and happy to do it. And I hope we get Return of the Jedi going and end this trilogy with a bang.
That sounds good. That sounds very good. Is there a time scheduling? I mean, since it's the 40th anniversary, so it either has to be done very fast this year, or do we have to wait long?
Well, I'll see what our schedules look like, and
Very good.
Get it confirmed and get it out. We can.
Awesome. All right, Jack. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking Star Wars with us. And we'll have you on the show either in person or with your art in the future for sure. And yeah, can't wait for the next chat, man.
Yes, I'm so grateful we connected. Thank you for inviting me on. And hopefully the next time me and the lady are in Berlin, we can meet in person. And
you better.
Yes. I look forward to that.
Awesome, man. All right. Then see you guys. Let us know. Let us know in the comments if you want Jack's GIF Star Wars series, because I want it. Let's make it happen, people. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.